Hey guys, I just want to make a really quick video to let you know about something that happened to me today. It was about 8:30 when I went to go get coffee, and on my way back home, I decided to go stop by the pet store to buy a birthday present, and I noticed a car in the parking lot. And when I saw this car, it had writing all over it. And I drove by a couple times and I noticed that the car said branded.com. It also said people that rent airspace in someone else's brain are pimps and traffickers. It also said she was bad, she must be punished. I bought her online. It also said please call out-of-state authorities. And it also said traffickers won't leave me alone. Call the FBI outside of state. So when I saw the part that said people that rent airspace in someone's brain are traffickers, I knew that she was a victim of gang stalking. And, I was hesitant to go approach her, but something in my intuition told me to turn around and approach her. And there was a woman sitting inside, kind of with her head down. I'm sure I startled her by the way I was driving around the car taking photos. But I decided to get out of the car and walk up to her. And I stood right in front of the window, which was rolled up, and kind of signaled to her and, let her know that I was there. And she looked up at me and I said, "Are you okay?" She said, and I said, "Are you being gang stalked?" And she said, and I told her, "Me too. I too am a victim." And, I had tears in my eyes when I said that, and she had tears in her eyes, and she rolled down her window. And, I just wrote down key points of what she said that I'll just share with you guys. She said she's a victim of gang stalking. She gets microwaved and electrocuted at night. And there's something new that's been happening to her lately. She feels like she's being stabbed all over her body. And when you look at the skin, there's marks under it. And there are pieces of metal under her body, and you can pull them out if they're small. But she has a really big one on her stomach. She said that there are nanoparticles / nanobots in her food, she believes, and that when they're small enough, they can come out of your skin. She says that she's been aware that this has been happening since 2017, but it's probably been happening all of her life. She says that everyone around her always dies who says that they love her. She has 4 daughters who have left her. Her parents had told her that they believed that she was on some sort of targeted list and that they wanted to help her. So when she went out from Phoenix to Washington, at first it seemed like they wanted to help her, but then they told her that she was crazy and they didn't believe her. Her daughters ended up committing her to a mental institution, or the psych ward, by telling them that she wasn't eating, which was later disproved. They also tried to claim that she was suicidal, which was later disproved. She's not a drug addict. She's never used drugs, and she doesn't drink. She's from Phoenix, but her parents live in Washington. She's been homeless, living in her car for 2 years. She came back down to California because she was supposed to have a surgery. And for some odd reason, when she was finally able to get the surgery scheduled, she went and the doctor said that her lawyer had canceled it. She fears these aggressors because some of them seem like they could kill her. She got in a bad car accident and never received any money. She says that when she uses the other homeless people's phones, the calls get dropped, and if she goes online, the pages disappear or they don't load. And in the beginning, when she was first finding out she was being targeted, they were warming up each of her organs inside of her and each of her body parts and letting her know what they were doing while they were doing it. And it was her husband who first told her that he thought she was on some sort of targeted list. When she filed complaints to the police, it never worked out. When she was in the hospital, it was people in the waiting room who told her what was going on. She calls the hand signals, because I asked her if she notices hand signals like this, things like that. She said she calls them baseball hands. She says she's worked in treatment in Costa Mesa because she really wanted to help people, and that's when they started messing with her. She says she feels the whole treatment scenario could have possibly been one big experiment, given that clients come in from out of town. Their parents send them there, and they may leave the treatment center on their own, have an overdose, and then die. And then when people ask about them, the staff, could say, "Oh, you didn't hear? So-and-so overdosed and died." She said she didn't know this for certain, but that it was very possible that this was going on when taking everything into account. She does not have a phone. She's too scared. She says that they can make her fall asleep at any time. And I've seen this many, many times. They can make her fall asleep at any time. She could be doing something and then all of a sudden super tired and just has to go to sleep. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. I've seen this while people are driving on the road and they just go into a trance and fall asleep. She says that they can control... Sorry, I have like a really itchy nose. I'm not trying to do any signals. They have ways of controlling her emotions and thoughts, and even her bodily reactions. She was asleep and she woke up and her arm was rising up. And I've seen that too, with someone I know where, man, they would go into a trance all the time that they could not recognize. They would fall asleep, in a couple seconds. And it was like their arm would be raising up. Well, and I've seen this, I think, twice. 2 different people. Their arm would be raising up like that while they're asleep. And they keep the arm up. The arm doesn't go down. And I'm trying to wake them up and the arm's up. It's like they're a robot. I started calling it the claw. And that person ended up saying it in their sleep, mumbling about something about the claw. So anyways, she said that happened to her. She said that she'll do entire things in her sleep and she'll have no recollection of it. She says that, they can take your whole memory out of what they've done to you. She says one night she woke up and could smell urine and it was all over her chest. She said it was not her. She was completely dry down there. And that another time she found poop in her car, which was not her. And that all her windows were rolled up and her car was locked. And I've actually seen the poop thing on the Vice documentary about gang stalking, where the guy says that they just poop in his bed for some reason. When she'd wake up, all the doors would be locked, but sometimes they would be tampering evidence of the doors, and there would be clothes in her car that weren't hers, things she would never buy. She said she would listen to the radio, and she would even only listen to the Christian radio. And when the songs were over, she could hear people over talking in the songs, like they were infiltrating the station. She said that when the song would end on the Christian station, she can hear people saying, "You're fucked." She said that people could go online and had the ability to buy you, as in buy, the ability to harass you, maybe select the people they want to harass. She says that there is a meeting spot at a local nearby park where these perpetrators meet up in the morning and are given scripts of the duties that they must fulfill that day with a layout of what they are to do and say. Man. She says she knows this because some of the people she knows have infiltrated those groups. She said she was trying to get to a church called Free Chapel in Irvine, which is funny because someone took me to that church before. And the leader of that church was supposed to help her out, but never did. She says the owner of the church actually works with Elon Musk, who is very keen on human experimentation. She says everyone who says they're going to help her never shows up. She wanted me to take her license plate down. And when I wrote my name down on a piece of paper and she saw that it was Savannah, she said that she hears them talking about Savannah a lot. She said that she always assumed it was a niece of hers whose name is Savannah, because they talk about her family a lot, but that maybe they were talking about me. I wouldn't be surprised. She said that she's surprised that they let me talk to people in Massimo's class, which I mentioned to her, or people in this group that I created for targeted individuals. And I'm surprised too, right? She said that they have things in the back of her neck, and they have one right here in her hand, and that, she starts to do the wrong thing. She starts to talk to too many people, goes to the wrong place, says too much. It'll start to burn her. She waits usually at nighttime at a street, which is across the street from the golf course where I actually live. And behind the golf course is this one street where a lot of cars and vans park. She says that it's a really shady place, but it's the only place where the police don't hassle you. And if you try and leave there at a certain time, they hassle you. But if you stay there, you're fine. So she says that's where she hangs out, and she sees a lot of scary stuff at night go on there. So it's interesting because I live right here on the other side of the golf course. So, I asked if she needed anything, and she said money, some sweatpants, clean underwear. So I told her that I would meet her there across from the golf course tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's just another day in my life, right? I'm really grateful that I was able to find her and maybe give her, a shoulder to cry on, someone to listen to. So with that being said, I hope everyone's had a good day, and keep your heads up. Bye.